Hello,
Let's
everybody. Welcome to the chaos. I think the hashtagging may have slightly got out of hand in the chat. We're gonna have to come up with a new
Hashtag
moniker.
next door to my towel.
I think we're gonna have to come up with a new moniker. Cheese me is had the hashtag king hashtag.
Hashtag where's that plastic?
So yes. Hello, welcome to the Thursday night live stream for Yellow Belly Tabletop. Good to have you all with us. Just sounding off some people in the chat. We've got a lot of the usual crowd. Hello Orinoco, hello Tim, hello Cheeseme. Who else did I see drop in? Darren's in. Spam an egg. No! Evening from McDonald's drive-thru.
I know who that is.
Hello, sir.
It's not a sir.
Oh,
it's a female.
Hello, madam.
Hi, Sam.
Now we know who Spam and Egg is. Hello, Sam. So Darren's, look at this. Darren's in. Darren knows the routine. So for those of you who've not joined us before, over the next couple of hours, David and I are going to be, first of all, we're going to show you what we're going to be hobbying on. Feel free to put in the chat or the comments below, if you're catching us later on YouTube, what exactly you've been working on. Darren's straight in there because he's a veteran and he knows the routine. He's working on some scenic bases for Dryad / Forest Spirit Force. For any particular game system, Darren, or is this just for your general miniature collection? Because I know that, is it 5 leagues? Is this what this is for? Or, like I say, is there no particular project attached to it? After we've had a chat about that, we're going to tell you what we got up to at our gaming club on Monday night. It may only be brief, though, as that features in our main topic, really, and it was the trigger event.
Yeah, well,
on Monday.
You were fucking triggered.
Yeah, triggered is fucking right. And we may see quite a bit of salt tonight. From
you? I was going to say,
from myself,
that's really unusual.
From Le David, but particularly from me. So, Darren, just saying there, just general stuff. It can be used for 5 league. Yeah, okay, mate, that's fair enough. Do you know what? It's
actually cheese me. No, but we'll come to that in a bit.
Shockingly, no, but we will come to it. So sorry, I have an interloper. Everybody say hello to my wife who just came through that door. Disembodied hand waving. Right. So do you know what I was just about to say, Darren? It must be lovely to be in a position where you just literally do those projects and have no real thing for them, but just get them done. Because I applaud your motivation, sir. I need.
He is second only to a certain somebody that we know in the flesh. For Ricky, just the fucking
Ricky, just
volume Ricky gets.
To be honest,
through,
yeah, I think he's got some sort of problem. You just give him miniatures, they come back painted. It's like, no, Ricky, I didn't want them painted. Mate. You were just looking at them. Stop. But do you know what, sir? I applaud you. It must be fantastic to be able to just sort of like get that mojo going. You know, here are models. Let's get paint on the hookers. Let's get it done. Good for you. Now, I've seen some dude on YouTube there. So he's in a terrain challenge with Ben from OnTableTop. Because of dragons, is it? I believe is Ben's YouTube channel.
Yes, because Crispin is because of...
No, you know, good for you, Darren. As I say, I applaud you, sir. I wish I had that motivation, though. I could just grab stuff, paint it, bang, with no force behind me pushing me on.
Whereas you tend to be quite game focused.
Yeah. If there's not a game going, whatever stage it's at, it'll pause there and get pushed to the side until and then the next thing I'm needing to play with will roll in front of me. Stuck into because of Ben, in the chat, this is Crispin. Hello, Crispin. Well, evening to you, sir. You are stuck into BG3. Somebody's going to have to
debrief.
50-year-old man that. What's BG3? What am I missing?
Not sure.
Oh, Baldur's Gate. Yeah, okay. Know it. Okay, mate. I know where you... So you're digital gaming. Nice. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Just going to tweak my camera a little bit because it's chopping the top of my head off and it's annoying me. So, yes, so after we've done that and chatted about our club experience on Monday night, we will... I've only got a couple of things to discuss. As Cheese Me, if you scroll back in the chat, as Cheese Me said, it may not be news, but I think they're worth mentioning. So do you know what? I'm going to mention them.
He's an old man. He needs help in his nursing home in his old age.
So there's a couple of things there.
Love you, Ginge.
And... then we will waste a bit of time, talk some nonsense, mull things over with the chat, as we do every week. And around 9 o'clock, we'll get into our discussion point, which, as I say, was triggered from an event that happened at Club this week. So, do you want to go first with what you're up to at the moment, mate?
Yeah, we will go first with what I'm up to. If we come down to the table, I'll tell you what you might not have done this week. And it might be worth doing while I'm talking about this shit.
Yeah.
Paint and comp.
I've already done it.
No, you've already done it. You're prepared. Fucking hell, are you feeling okay?
Yeah, no. I'm pretty much done. But yeah, so this is David's tabletop. Take us through it, my man.
Flames. We've done the decals. We are now making all of my tanks look like my painting competition entries, which are dusty AF.
Okay, so this is one of the... You will be seeing these later again, guys, because David entered a few of his pieces for the painting competition this month.
There's my Pershing. Let's see if we can get that in a nice...
Yeah, you've got
nice,
a light above
not
it.
glary
on
light.
The front.
There you go.
Okay.
Look at that.
And
so
this
we got
is one of the weathered ones.
Yes, this is dust and dirt on my Pershing. So we've got some nice colours in the undercarriage.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Nice, mate.
So we're going to get all these vehicles done that have no crew.
So it's basically weathering powders.
Yeah, weathering powders.
What are you using? Show
we are using...
So we've got the Vallejo pigments.
Natural umber.
Yeah.
Little bit of light sienna for some light dust. And then when I'm feeling a little bit fruity, we put a splash of this in.
Okay. And are you like... one then the other, or are you just going to keep dibbing and dabbing and mixing
currently going ham just with the one colour, and then on my competition entries, once I've done that, for example, where's a good angle for it, let's see if we can see it, put some of the rust pigment down in here.
Okay, that's
so it's slightly more
yeah.
red, etc. Slightly more dusty pigment here. Again, that's more obvious on the top as well, so we just put some dust on and just attack it.
Yeah.
The reason is I want to go a bit ham and over the top, because when I seal these, they are going to tone back down. Again, we went a bit ham with rust around the back of the exhaust outlets as well.
That looks pretty good, actually, the way
because the heat.
There. Yeah, no, that looks pretty good.
So,
nice.
all in all, that's what we're doing this evening. So we're attacking with pigments. Yep. So I'm going to end up looking like I've been in a mine shortly.
What are you going to do? Are you going to seal afterwards with a varnish, or what do you think?
Yeah, I will probably seal with an alcohol first. Just spray some isopropyl out at it. And then give them a very quick spritz of matte varnish.
Okay. Cool. Right, very good, sir. Nice job to do on stream as well, because it's really low focus, isn't it?
Yeah, no hobby ASMR tonight for boys and girls.
Okay, awesome. Right, so what shall I do? Well, to be honest, I fancy doing something else. Oh, apparently
But-
you've got to wear a mask. Is that super toxic? Super toxic. Tim is triggered.
It's fine, Tim. I put worse shit in my body more regularly. We're good.
On his list of worries, Vallejo Pigments is low. Do
I've
not.
got a little fan distributing it around my room. It's fine.
We do. He's got a fan aerosolizing it as we speak. We do not necessarily recommend any of the safety tips that we don't give, because that's the way we roll. That's the way we
Again,
roll.
you've heard me hobby ASMR without a mask on. Stop complaining.
Yeah, iron oxides for low toxicity, but I mean ultimately it's an inhaled particulate, which is an emphysema risk. But you know what you're gonna do.
So is this.
So, I am going to be working on, and I'm not expecting to get a lot done. I'm going to carry on working on my Armada. So this is my Drake, which is the extra large ship for the Salamanders fleet.
Is it XL or is it L?
No, it's an XL.
Oh.
The Drake is the big boy.
Oh.
So, my first job, I primed everything with Vallejo Ghost Grey, I think it was, primer. Then we've gone chocolate brown through the airbrush over the whole damn thing. Because the vast majority of the woodwork and that is going to be that colour, so it's a good way to get my primary colour down. But because these boats have a god-awful sail structure where they have alternating strips of fabric and then wood and then fabric and then wood, and each of the sails is built up in a fucking layer. Obviously, it's got a very Eastern sort of Chinese Dao feel. And I'm putting dark sand down as this fabric colour, but obviously dark sand over chocolate brown, this son of a bitch is taking at least two coats.
I was going to say, that's a nice coverage for you there, isn't it?
Yeah, having said that, we're not panicking. I don't actually have some finished ones to hand, but obviously when this is painted finished, we're going to be slapping Agrax Earthshade over the whole boat to shade the gold, shade the hull, pick out the details, the creases in the sails. And obviously with using a wash step like that, it causes so much mottling. There is absolutely no point painting this to an obsessively flat colour level. So I don't care if it's not perfectly even. I don't care if I've got any colour variation after I get my two coats on, because A, you won't see it under the wash step, and B, I don't know what everybody else feels, but when you see like the old Warhammer 2 thin coats and they paint everything to a perfectly flat, detailless finish, I always think that that's madness on things like fabrics and natural materials, because one thing that's absolutely characteristic of fabric and natural materials is that they don't have any evenness of colour. I mean, if you're talking a powder-coated steel panel on a vehicle, yes, get it.
Yeah, about that, Paul.
Well,
actually, no, just let me finish.
Go on,
let
then.
me finish. I work at a manufacturer that powder coats stuff.
Yep.
And we powder coat in-house.
Yep.
And occasionally, yeah, we still end up with issues, even with the powder coat not being uniform across the entire surface. We have to hide it under bits.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, if there's anything that you're painting where you could justify the amount of work it takes to produce a flawlessly flat, even coloration, that's it, isn't it?
True, I suppose.
I mean, anything else, any kind of natural product, timber, fabric, No, well, it's not evenly coloured in real life. Why the fuck would you miniature?
Speaking of timber, guess what I forgot to give you on Club on Monday?
Oh, if you were going to say you forgot to give me wood, I'm stopping the stream now.
Meow.
Yeah, that's exactly what David's just said, Cheese Me. That, you know, I'll be honest, I'm with you. I never obsess about painting perfection. If I put a couple of coats on something, even if it isn't flawless, we move on. And I'll be honest, I mean, people have never criticised my paint jobs as being scruffy or, you know, but I think by the time you finish doing a highlight step, a dry brush, a wash, you've wasted your time. You could have saved 15 minutes. But that's me.
Yeah, but that's because you don't paint on hard mode.
No, do you know what, Darren? I can echo that feeling exactly. If you give me a choice between painting and a naturalistic model, let me go back to my desktop. So if you give me the choice between painting something like this, which is a Carnivale vampire, which has just got fabric breeches, a shirt, and flesh, I would rather paint that over a load of Space Marines any day, or tank armor. That is my preferred painting as well. I find it a much more relaxing process because imperfections don't matter, thoroughness and evenness don't matter. Just my 2 cents.
And then you have my side of the coin of everything must be perfection.
Hello, Tuffy. Yeah, Assassin's Creed will be getting painted. I've been looking at that. I've hit a bit of a brick wall with Assassin's Creed because now I've got through my training missions, although I still need to upload the mission 4 video. I now have to paint all of the. So for those of you who haven't played Assassin's Creed board game, between missions you have a home base step where you can heal your assassins, etc. And it's utterly unnecessary, but there is like a little tile that represents your home base, and then you have miniatures that represent your assistants, and you can have 2 sets. You can have like courtesan Venetian prostitute type models, or you can have, I guess the best way to describe them is Venetian style labourers,
guild workers.
Yeah, guild workers. But is there 8 or 10 of each, mate?
Something I don't know.
So
you're asking the man that's not painted much of his Assassin's Creed. How's that going for you?
Are you telling everybody that you haven't finished painting your Assassin's Creed yet? Is that
surprisingly, yes, because guess what? I'm too busy painting Flames of War ready for our game in September.
See what Darren's put, home base. Is there a sale on? No, I think, to be fair, mate, I don't know, they've stopped trading now, haven't they, home base? They stopped trading a while ago.
What, like Wilco?
Yeah, Wilco's are gone now. Tell you what. Talking of, you know, that's another reason for not backing Kickstarters at the minute. Get your savings in the bank. Everything's going bust. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me get my camera out of the way. So that's what we're going to be working on. Women of questionable morals. You got it, Tim. You got it. I
was about to say something, but it might earn me a slap.
Right.
I'm hungry. What is a certain somebody eating at McDonald's? Because there was mention of McDonald's in chat earlier. Come on,
so now
share with the group.
Share with the group. The fucking McDonald's menu in chat. Great.
Look, it can't be much worse because again, we've already got bloody hashtags out of the wazoo. So a McDonald's menu. We're not going to get DCMA'd for a McDonald's menu.
I don't know. Tuffy's saying their Wilco's will be having a clearance sale. I don't know. Are they actually open to trade, or have they just closed the stores? My wife told me about it when I got home, so I don't know of any details. But it is a bit of a shock.
Yeah, but again, it's like Woolworths all them years ago.
Yeah. What, when they want belly up?
Yep.
Right. So, should we tell the people what we did at club?
Big Mac meal with a vanilla milkshake.
Oh, rude. Stop.
No. I mean, who...
Here we go. So, does everybody want to put their tea in chat? I had pasta with tomato sauce and sort of like a meatball thing. What did you have, David?
I had last night's pesto pasta with courgette, onion, and pepper in it.
Courgette. You still eating last year's crop?
Fuck off, you cunt. No, I'm eating this year's crop because they've just started coming in now, and it's a fucking nightmare.
Tim had pizza. Anybody else?
Any more for any more? Look, we don't have much news this week. We're using food as filler.
Food as filler. Right, okay. Club night, Monday. Okay. We both did the same thing, didn't we, mate?
Buckle up. Hold on to your seatbelts. We played some Armada.
Salt.
Quite apt considering it's a seafaring game. Just saying.
It's a couple of salty sea dogs. Yeah.
No, that's a different euphemism, mate.
So yes, we both played the same game. I played Ricky. So these are some photos of my game.
I took photos of my game. Didn't think to share them with you.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
done.
terrible co-host.
You're very efficient. I'm impressed. Not. Oh, cheese me's come through. Darren had sausage sandwiches, mate. I think you go to the. You're definitely winning for me. Sausage sarnies. You can't beat a sausage sarnie. Roasted potatoes, bacon, and spiced peppers. Yeah, definitely a sausage sarnie. Pips that cheese me. Sorry, mate. We'll give you a. I don't know
half a star.
What do you reckon? A third place behind the McDonald's and the sausage sarnies.
That's only because you're a fat bastard and you'd eat at McDonald's every day if you fucking could.
No, that's foul calumny. So yes,
sorry, you spice it up a bit and have some KFC.
Shut up. So yes, 150 points of Armada. I played my salamanders and Ricky brought pirates. So Ricky's got a really cool pirate fleet, which consists of a dwarf dreadnought, and then I believe he's got 2 of the undead.
Soul Harvester and a... What's the fucking other one?
Don't know.
I should know because I printed them for him.
For anybody who knows, he's got 2 undead ships, a medium and a small one. But it's essentially I still like the game. If anybody hasn't tried it,
definitely try it. It's a good game.
Try it because it fills a niche. There is one issue that came up. The other thing I will say is the game is so easy to build great looking tables for. We've literally just got some resin rocks that we got from Game Mat EU and a bit of like hardboard covered in
aquarium
plants just scattered around the rocks, and I think it looks pretty bloody good, frankly. Obviously on Mantic's own mat, but without spoiling too much for the chat later, I had my first negative play experience of this game.
Didn't take you long then.
And it was born of the fact that although Ricky only bought 3 ships, which is perfectly legal at 150, the Dwarf Dreadnought has a bit of a problem in terms of interaction. Let's put it that way. It is not the most interactive model in the world. It has incredible resilience, built-in damage reduction, huge close combat.
Huge amount of hull points.
A really high amount of hull points, and it's got long range power. I mean, it's shooting 10 cannons on each broadside, 8 of which go out to like 14 inches.
Yeah, and 4 out of 20.
It is a problem model because we'll get into it more later. But yeah, that was the only thing that spoiled the game for me, was the issues around the Dreadnought and the fact that I just couldn't do anything to it. It was literally not a model that I could interact with in the game in any way. So yeah, it is filth, but the thing is, Tim, it is filth, but it's filth out of the box. It's not as if you're building a combo with it. You just literally put it on the table raw, and it's just filth. But we'll get into more of that later. Do you have anything to say about your game, mate? I know we don't have any pictures,
so
but
I
feel free
played
to discuss it.
Alex, which was Dwarves versus Northern Alliance, which it was an all right game. We had a couple of rules mistakes, but mainly because the rules have changed, Mantic, looking at you in the corner, of the rules on the cards don't match the rules on the fucking companion app when we look afterwards.
Yeah, that was one of the Norse boats, wasn't it?
It was. The glide rule that is across all Norse boats is completely different now.
But what's weird is it's not listed as an errata, so I don't know where that's come from. I don't know if the companion app's wrong or the card is misprinted or what.
Not a clue. But yeah, it wasn't a bad game. I ended up winning. What was it? 6 or 7-3.
I think your game was quite close towards the end. We both played the volcano scenario where it's getting hot in here or something.
Into hot water, yeah.
That's it, into hot water. I knew it had like a heat theme.
So yeah, it was a good game.
We called ours at about turn 5. I think it's an 8-turn scenario.
we played to turn 7 and called it. Because unfortunately there was nothing Alex could do.
Yeah. Well, that's the situation I got into at turn 5.
Yeah.
So, nothing else, mate?
No, not really.
Okay. Right. So let me just have a look here.
Oh, fucking hell, Tuffy. Jesus fucking H Christ.
Oh, the Christmas stuff.
Open bargains with Christmas decorations. It's not even fucking September yet.
I was going to say, I've worked in retail for many years, and it is not unusual to see September, all the Christmas shit out by September. But first week of August is taking the piss. I'm just saying. I mean, what the hell? Just going to have a look at your pictures and see which is the best of...
Paint and comp.
Yeah. Probably this one. Yeah, okay.
Which one is this?
We shall go with this. Now then, what did I do? That's the Club Night slideshow, which we don't want. We want to go to this. We want to go to
Pardon me.
That and that. You took the votes, didn't you? So you can tell.
Yeah, I took the votes. So we had a joint second and third place, and then a winner. There was only 3 entries. And it made it a little awkward. Because we had Paul enter, Ricky enter, and then me with my...
Yeah, there were only 4 of us at club, and only 3 of us entered. So it was... So this is... First up is Ricky's entry. This is the Dwarf Dreadnought. Oh, it's gone. Hang on a second.
There it is.
Let me pause this and let me go back. There we go. Now I've got manual control of the slideshow. Yes, this is the horrible dwarf dreadnought that I was talking about. A fantastic model and a great paint job. I love this little Mohican style touch on top. It's a great model. It's a great model. So yeah, go on, mate. What were the positions?
Ricky and you were second.
Okay, so Ricky, that's Ricky's entry.
Ricky's was the dreadnought,
and
Paul's
this
was
is mine. Let's do mine
obsidian
next, then.
golems
So
from.
mine is the obsidian Oni from Malifaux that I had such success with last week. Really quick and dirty paint job. I tell you what I did use, which I was quite impressed with, my Turbo Dork Black Metallic Black Ice.
Shout out to Mr. Shy.
All over basically the flesh and the skin of the Onis and also the weapons here. I think it's such an unusual colour. It gives them a real unreal look, if that makes sense, which is exactly what you want for something demonic. And then we've just got gold on a lot of the armour, and then this orange detail on the front and rear tabards just to give some colour balance. And the weapon handles done in the same orange, just to avoid putting too many colours on them. And then David recommended I just did a little bit of a dry brush on the faces, just to pull out all the spines and the detail on those. As I say, it's one of them things. I get satisfaction now from the amount of time that goes into a product for the return, and these were probably about 3 hours. It was maybe an hour per mini, which for me is like, I like it. I'm happy with the results. And to be fair, it would have been a lot less time if I hadn't used this Vallejo clear orange, because putting this over that black was about fucking 50 coats. It was a fucking nightmare. But I think my paint is knackered because it doesn't seem to want to disperse. I don't know if you've ever had this with a Vallejo, mate, but it doesn't seem to want to get out the bottom of the pot. I've got 2 agitators in here, but it's watery as hell. Have you cracked the lid off
and put a little bit of thinner in it?
Thinner?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Because obviously the pigment doesn't come out. I was thinking it's too thin, but maybe you're right. Maybe what I need is more medium to actually get the fucking thing to suspend. I hadn't thought of that. I might try it. I've got some...
Man's a genius.
I've got some Vallejo medium. And then you won. You came first with your Flames of War, which...
So we had a Pershing, a Chaffee, a Easy a Greyhound, and a T-34 Colour P.
Yeah. Good.
In the competition. So quick and dirty, quick and easy. So we went with an olive drab base coat, then a zenithal highlight on it, and then a dry brush of, I think it was grey-green.
Okay.
Did the wheels with black grey and the
Are you doing a project for this on OTT?
No, I'm not. I'm too late now. Chocolate brown for the tracks, the rusty part of the tracks. Black grey as well for the guns and any metalwork.
Doesn't look bad apart from the upside down decals, does it?
Fuck off, cunts.
For everybody who doesn't get that joke, feel free to watch last week's stream.
And then a product I am not happy with.
Do you want to go to main screen?
Model wash. Not happy with it.
It's all right. You're on main screen. You can put it on camera if you want to show everybody.
Just not happy. Hang on. Let me go to the app. There we go. Oh shit! The password's not entered. Okay. There we go.
Oh, do you want to go to your desk?
Go with my down one. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Right. Let's do that. Cha-ching. Boom.
This
you're
shit. On. Not happy. It just doesn't cover, it doesn't wash, there's no fucking details or contrast in the mini, and it was just a fucking waste of time. It was too thin.
See, I'm not saying that I called it cheese me, but drilled barrels, it's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah.
Fuck off.
Now, there's no need for that.
No, I'm triggered. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm being bullied. So, yeah,
anyway, carry on telling everybody about your wash.
Threw the pigments on after the wash step to add contrast and get dirt and shit in all the crevices that didn't get filled up with wash. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not overly happy with it. I will probably be using this on terrain and bits and pieces, and that will be about it.
Because to be fair, the only thing
it's
really...
It's very orange as well.
Because the thing is, it didn't... When you look at... I don't know if I can bring it back.
Well, hang on. I have got one that I haven't thrown any pigments on. I've got one here that I haven't thrown any pigments on.
The only thing...
So this has had a wash.
Looking top down, I don't know what you guys at home think, but I feel the wash step should have pulled out...
There we go. We'll go for the zoom option.
Look, Gandalf's in. So we are misunderstanding the way it's supposed to work. Right.
Yeah,
so
even as a dust wash, it's a bit shit, Gaming Gandalf.
Yeah, okay. So maybe this is our schoolboy error. Jerry, can I ask you then, as you're obviously offering your wisdom at the minute, is the entire Vallejo model wash range the same? I've got the oiled earth one. Is it okay? It's like an acrylic tint, right? So you can't use it like a standard wash. Is it more of a weathering product?
Fucking hell, that's a bit close. I mean, there is some in there.
So what? David's is like you're saying, but the oiled earth will behave completely differently. Oh shit, man. Okay, right.
I mean, again, you can see elements of the dust on there.
Right. Okay.
But
okay, that's worth knowing. So, just to finish off then, Jerry, before we let you get back to relaxing and not basically helping us out here, have you used the oiled earth? How does this behave? Is this like a standard Agrax style picks out your shading wash, or is this a bloody...
I'll tell you what I will do while I've got my camera here. Boys and girls at home, brace yourselves.
Okay, thank you anyway, Jerry. That's fair comment, mate. Oh, that's nice.
15mm church for flames.
Yeah, so this is part of our flame... Well, I say our. This is David's Flames of War table project. Now, this is... I tell you what, Jerry, don't worry about it, mate. Now you've explained that each product in the range is a bit unique, like Citadel Contrast. They all behave bloody differently. I'll just do my homework and find out how that works, or I'll run some test models myself. But it's good to have your input. Appreciate it a lot. So, sorry, David, back to you. This
Ruined Church from printablescenery.com, King Country Kickstarter, scaled down to 60% for 15mm terrain.
If you send me some pictures on Discord, Ricky, I'll try and get them on stream. This is the...
Fuck off! Fuck off!
This is the...
prick!
This is Ricky, who I played on Monday night. Just enter the chat, everybody. This man is a painting machine.
Then the other thing I got that turned up this week...
Oh, have you put any of those together yet?
No, but this
Okay.
is what my next job is on stream, so I'm
Oh,
going to start
cool.
putting some of this together.
Right, well, get on with it then. Stop talking and get on with it because we want to see
Well,
them.
fuck off and get on. Let me get on with it.
That church is looking nice though. Did you? Let me stop talking. You can explain to everybody at home what the church is and how it is.
So, I mean, I'm happy with it. I've got to just knock the supports that I put in down here, knock them out.
Oh, right,
I'm happy
there
with
you've
it.
added those.
Yeah, there's a bit of zitting on it, and there was a couple of bits of just tiny stringing. I don't even know if the light's picking that up. But I'm happy with this. I've done the 3 tower levels above it. So basically, all in all, at the moment, we're at 3 hours and 10 hours. So we're at 13 hours to print this up to about here.
Because you got your tower already, haven't you?
Yes, it's somewhere else. I put it down somewhere.
That's fine.
And then we've got a couple more bits to finish off the rest of the church over this way.
Wow, it's going to be a pretty big piece then, even at 15 mil.
It is sizable. I think, like I said to you, I'm going to do it as it is going to be a centerpiece because I think it's going to come out to like about a foot long and 6 inches wide.
Holy crap! And this thing's supposed to be printed at 28.
Yes, this is what I mean.
They do some big scenery though, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, your observatory is ridiculous. But again, considering this is a 28...
The tower's next.
Considering this is 28 mil scaled... 28 mil scale down, the textures have stayed pretty fucking well as well because we've got a plaster wall and then the brickwork, etc.
I mean,
they've not obliterated.
You printed me what, about 12 pieces of terrain for Frostgrave at 28
Yeah, something like that.
And
biggest one's what, nearly 45 centimeters by 45 centimeters?
No, but I was about to say I am really impressed with the quality improvements on your FDM printer with the modifications you made to the printer.
With the new hot end.
Holy crap, is it? It's way better. It's so much
way
cleaner.
Way better. Yeah.
Because some of those ones you did me have got some really ropey bits where, particularly when you start getting fine pillars and wood posts and stuff.
Well, again, I don't know if you can...
So good.
See if I can see a bit of wood. I think there is a bit of wood in here somewhere. There we go. Zoom on it. Zoom, you bastard.
Oh, you can see the layers.
Okay, it's a bit ropey because the layers.
It is layery, yeah.
But don't forget, this is a super zoom and is at 15 mil. So everything's going to look worse.
And you've got a bit of stringing I can see there as well.
Yeah,
just a
tiny wisp, but it pulls off.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's definitely given that printer yours a new lease of life because you didn't use the bloody thing at all, did you, the way it was?
Like I said to you, there's just a couple of little bits of zitting, but in the grand scheme of things, that's part and parcel of FDM.
Yeah. Hi, Trevor.
So...
Yeah,
Look, cheese me. I'm sorry there's lines.
It can be quite scary, but do you know what? FDM is such a good tool for cheap terrain. And just to show everybody that these things do exist, drilled barrels at 15 mil.
Oh, fuck off, you fucking knobhead. You can buy your own beer and food tomorrow.
Right, okay, where were we?
Being a twat, apparently.
Right, I need to get rid of my phone again. So we did painting competition. Just in case anybody wasn't clear, first Monday of every month we have our painting competition in club. The subject this month was
superior armor.
Superior armor, thank you. So all three. Sometimes at club the theme gets a little bit lost in translation, but actually all of them sort of qualified.
Stuck to it.
Oh.
I'm gonna lose my shit.
Have you seen Sam's comment? Bigger isn't always better. Sam, is that? Are you trying to tell us something?
Put the fucking spade down. Step out of the JCB cab.
Oh my god, that's funny. Brilliant. Right. Yeah. So I think that's it.
No, it's the news. It's quarter to
Is the
9.
news. Right.
Here's
okay.
the news. We've not got any news.
Here is the news.
That's the end
there
of
is
that
no
segment.
fucking news. Ricky's diving. I'm not getting involved. All right. It's all gonna get out of hand.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. Ricky, don't start a fucking cock measuring contest. Jesus fucking H Christ.
Oh dear. So
I'm sure people at home want to keep their tea down, for fuck's sake.
I've only got a couple of things to mention. I think I've mentioned. People might be getting the idea that I actually like this guy. I think I've mentioned his videos 3 bloody weeks on the trot. But do you know what? I do. He makes great videos. Ninjon's done another great video this week. Basically, he's got the man's got a bit of. Oh, that's a quote from Hardware, the Terminator of the 90s. Okay, Jerry, I'll put it on my list to look for. So yeah, Ninjon's done another cracking video. The man's got a problem. He won't stop buying paint. He's got like nearly 2,000 bottles of paint from various manufacturers. And in this video, basically he does a rundown. It's very broad brush. He basically goes through and says, this range is great because, but it's crap because, and he covers pretty much every single major brand of paint in the gaming sector. And
It's not
just
a police interview now, spam and eggs.
It's and it's just a great video. Funnily enough, he didn't like the Vallejo model wash products either. He said that he did comment he's got them all, and he says he doesn't use them. But I think, to be honest, he's probably lacking expert knowledge, as we fools obviously are, and he didn't realise
doesn't have a friendly gaming Gandalf.
Yeah, he doesn't have a gaming Gandalf on tap to tell him that he's a fool, and that actually those products don't work the way you think they do, mate. So you need to do a bit of homework on that. But it's just a good video. It's yet another good video. I mean, he's got a great skit at the beginning where he sort of like does his redneck character. I
mean, Jerry has a point here. How has he got empty space on his shelves?
Because those aren't his paint racks. He's got, like, if you look over to his left or right there in shot, he's got like 2 full walls of paint racks with literally hundreds and hundreds of bottles. Literally hundreds of bottles. So the man's definitely not short of fucking paint. Let's put it that way. So yeah, if you were wondering about, yeah, well, he's a successful YouTuber, Jerry. He's going to be a GW fucking fanboy, isn't he? Although he's, I think credit to him. He's doing some really clever videos, and they're not just tedious, self-indulgent painting orgies, which a lot of these sort of channels are. And I hope it's working for him, and I hope he keeps the variety of his content. Because I've said it before. I like Ninjon because he appeals to all levels of the hobby. He does great videos that appeal to a beginner. He'll do some really weird, exotic, arty, farty videos that might appeal to a top-level painter. Okay, now. Jerry's fucking roasted Ninjon. Sell some paints and learn to read. I'll make sure I put that in his next video. I'll put it in the comments, mate. Illiterate. But that reminds me of a funny story about I was getting into a fucking argument on an AOS forum or an AOS thread in Facebook AOS group, and I was basically ripping a bloke a new arsehole for being a cunt, and somebody said, "Oh, get him! What did he do? Swallow a thesaurus?" And I said, "No, I read it, you prick. It was a more worthwhile exercise." And then left the group. Anyway.
The internet, it brings out the worst in people.
Fucking people. Right. And this one is actually courtesy of Panzer Kaput, because I'm subscribed to Panzer's YouTube channel, and he threw up a short, and the short was advertising, because I think he's taking down
BritCon.
He's taking down some Baron's War, I believe. And I'm a bit gutted, because this bugger is it's in our backyard, mate. Nottingham this weekend. So I don't know if any of you guys in the chat, or if anybody watching us later, let us know if you're going to this.
When is it at the weekend?
Paul's
is it Saturday and Sunday?
I don't know if Paul's going from Pandyman, because obviously this is...
Paul is going from Pandyman because it's all over his fucking Instagram feed for, what's it called?
Yeah.
Trench Offensive.
Yeah,
because he's got new minis coming.
This, for everybody who doesn't know, BritCon is a historical... the BHGS is the biggest historical gaming society or something. Panzer threw up or what? Yeah. So there you go, everybody. If you're free this weekend...
And near Nottingham.
And, not a million miles away from Nottingham, which, frankly, is in the middle of the fucking country. So that's
maybe not a trip for our friendly neighbourhood German.
No. Okay, if you're not in the UK, fair enough. But... as I say, I'm a bit gutted, because I bet you that's going to be fun, mate.
But you know what we have got to look forward to in less than a month?
What, Flames of War?
No, you bellend.
Oh, Hereward.
September, Hereward!
Yeah, we will be talking about that probably as the event gets closer. But yes, anybody who doesn't know, Hereward Wargaming show is on at Peterborough, September the 3rd? Yep.
Yes.
September the 3rd, one-day event. I think they put on their Facebook this week, they've got 19 retailers and 15 demonstration games, I believe, booked on it.
Oh, nice.
So, should be good. We enjoy Hereward. It's a lovely little event. We've been 2 or 3 times, haven't we, mate?
Yes.
So, as I say,
that might be a fun weekend for me.
For anyone who's within spitting distance of us here in East Anglia, that's worth a visit.
Ricky, go away, because they're nearly done.
Right, okay. So, and that is it. That is the news.
No. You've got 7 minutes to highlight a certain somebody that's throwing some stuff in Discord for you before we go on to the main topic.
God. Oh, my God. Bullied. Right, let's see if we can do this. That's cool. Right, how am I going to do this? Let's...
Right, I'm just going to step out a shot a second. Or move over a bit.
Save this image into... There will do. Save image into there. Save image into there. Let's see if we can create a slideshow.
Quick slideshow.
To give you a bit of background, everybody, Ricky played a game of bolt action with me and quite enjoyed it. So he was like, yeah, okay, I think I want to get into this game. And he's basically decided to do late war SAS from Northwestern Europe. So let's just... And now he's decided to get the majority of his infantry from War Games Atlantic, I want to say. Correct us in the chat if I'm wrong, Ricky. I'm sure it was War Games Atlantic. In fact, don't even bother, because Jerry will correct me if I'm wrong, because he knows all the model lines by heart. So yeah, he got War Games Atlantic SAS box, I think it is. You get something like 30 miniatures for 30 quid. Great value. And he received them earlier in the week, and already he's starting to get the paint down on them. And this is them coming along just nice. Look at it. He's got most of his base coats down, and he's got a wash on these buckers, hasn't he?
I think they're nearly done, mate. If
Yeah,
not
they are.
done.
You haven't said, Ricky, what's your plans with your basing? Are you going to be using a basing product, or you have to let us know? So there you go. That's the Ricky's SAS. And that works perfectly for you, David, doesn't it? Because you've got British Airborne.
Yeah, and then Alex has got German
Here.
here.
Yeah.
And you're on about getting some SS.
So you're just going to do like static grass. Okay, mate.
Faster bolt action than Yellow Belly.
Yeah.
Look, we're not the most efficient on this channel.
Well, we're not. Not only are we not the most efficient, we're not efficient objectively. You know, most doesn't even enter into it. So yeah, looking great, mate. Now you've got pretty much all of your infantry sorted, I think, Ricky, correct? We need to sort you out a bazooka team, which I think David's got like a Piat that we can repurpose.
Yeah, I've got some Piat ammo cases and stuff. I need to just find them for you.
We need to sort out some sort of light mortar team. And then it's basically Jeeps. And it's just where... In fact, here we go. Instead of buying Warlord Jeeps, which are a little bit pricey, Northwestern Europe, SAS Jeeps, either printable or buying models that are great but not expensive.
You've just said a dirty word on stream for 90% of the people here.
What's that, the printing?
Yes.
Well, Crispin's an STL man. I don't know if he does. Orinoco suggests Rubicon. If anybody's not worked it out, I was basically prodding a certain someone because I think there's somebody who will know exactly where to get the best and cheapest.
Hi, Jerry. Hi, Gaming Gandalf.
Yeah, so Jerry says get the STI ones.
The STI ones.
Poor David. Poor David. Oh dear. You guys are cruel. I'm just saying.
Everybody leave me alone. Stop bullying me. Don't like it.
When they're laying into the 3D printing. But yes, in all seriousness, we are looking for an option on the Jeeps because, as I say, Ricky wants to run several machine gun laden Jeeps because that's a good way to run SAS. And the Warlord ones aren't the cheapest for the number. I think you need 3 for your list, Ricky. I could be wrong. But yeah, I did think 3D printing might be a way to go. But I am an ignorant fool. And there might be a great model out there that I'm just not aware of. I'm actually going to put some paint on a model. So that it actually looks like I do hobby.
Also, people with 3D printers have STDs. Well, thank you, Tim.
That's shocking news for Sam.
Wow. Fucking first night she's in chat properly and I realise, and she's already getting fucking roasted, and not that kind of roasted before all you dirty fuckers wander out of chat and fucking start saying that shit.
Oh, mate, why did you do that? Jerry, thank you as usual, mate. Ever so helpful. Jerry says Warlord's pretty much the cheapest to buy.
To buy him.
So unless it's STL to save money, mate. Okay.
And a David.
That's good. David to the rescue. Go, printer, go brrr.
My printer is going brr, but for my stuff at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. To be fair, having got the infantry for next to note, I suppose it's even if we do... Oh my god! Sam!
Oh, Jesus fucking H. Christ.
Right. Technical difficulties. Be right back, everybody. Oh my god.
We're going to get taken off the air for being so blue.
Do you know what?
Jesus.
It's a good job we never want to be monetized, isn't it, really?
Any hopes of being monetized have gone out the fucking windows.
My dream was alive and now it's dead. Right, I reckon it's 9 o'clock. Should we just get the salt shaker going?
Yeah, right. Do you wanna kick this one off? Because you fucking started this, not me. I wasn't salty for a change. Shock horror.
Right, okay. Let me rinse the paint out of my brush.
He's so angry he's got to put his paintbrush down, boys and girls. Fucking brace yourself. You're about to see a side of Paul you haven't seen before.
Right.
How long is my 3D list now? It's a while.
So.
Oh.
Oh my god, I was there when Yellow Belly got banned off YouTube. Right, okay, so let's get into this. So a game of Armada was a massive negative play experience, and to be honest with you, this is revelationary because one thing that Mantic games are not notorious from my point of view is a negative play experience. I cannot think of another instance of where I've played a Mantic game and felt so utterly powerless and frustrated. So let's first of all not get carried away. Mantic generally are not guilty of this. But I very much had the feeling with the Dwarf Dreadnought in Armada that the way that model is designed, in terms of its rule set I'm talking now, as I alluded to earlier, it is a big ship that has a ton of wounds, for want of a better word, structure points. It has a built-in ability to reduce incoming damage. That is a static effect that applies to all damage that's applied to it.
All shooting, yeah.
So it has a natural resilience against defense, against shooting, which, to be honest, I don't really understand from a games design point of view, because you're double dipping. You have given it tons of hull points to represent the fact that it's armed to the teeth and it's really resilient, and you then give it a built-in damage reduction which double dips on that effect. I don't understand why you would do both, but I'm not a game designer who works for Mantic, so that's fine. But the flip side of it is, when you play Armada, there are essentially two ways to deal with a threat. You can either shoot it with guns and make it go away, or you can board it and fight
and send
the crew.
your crew aboard.
But the problem is, the Dwarf Dreadnought also has a close assault value of 10.
One of the highest values in the game.
Which I think is the only boat that we found would natively be higher is the Orc extra large ship, which has 12 because of the Orc's built-in ability. I think natively it's the same, but the Orcs have an ability that pushes it up. Now, don't apologise, Ricky. It was not your fault at all. And in fact,
if anything, it was my fault for printing it.
Let's clear something else up as well. My negative play experience has nothing to do with my opponent. My negative play experience is from my interaction with this model and the game's rules. And just that in general. Yeah. So, at its heart, the problem that I see with this model is that you buy the resin or you print your STL version, whatever. You get this model, you pay the 95 points or whatever the hell it is for it, you slap it on the table. All of the abilities I've discussed are not upgrades. They come
base
with it, bolted on. Okay? So, not being that guy...
This isn't even upgrading it to make it worse than it already is.
Yeah, not race tuning it. You have something that you've put on the table that even if your opponent... Because, for example, David and I went away after... in fairness, in my list, I wasn't running any of the huge XL ships. I wasn't running my Drake because it wasn't painted. I ran my Salamander starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, Jerry, David and I did start deep diving on the XL ships and we discovered a bit of a pattern, but we're going to save deep diving that for another live stream because I think it opens up another can of worms that I think is a drum you often beat. So we're going to take your lead, but that's going to be a separate stream. We're going to... yes, Trevor, I am. We're just going to focus in on this sort of event and what happened. So it's not as if I didn't bring an XL ship, but David, as I've just said, David and I looked at it, and even if I'd bought my Drake, which is my version of the Dreadnought, it's got way less cannons, way less close assault. It is about 5 points cheaper. It's less maneuverable because it doesn't have the dwarf engines, doesn't have the damage resistance. It's only got like 4/5 of the hull points or whatever it is. Even if we were to just drop mine on the table next to his, it wouldn't even have been a fight. I would have need to gang up with 2 or 3 ships to bring the damn thing down. I've also watched battle reports online where basically a Dwarf Dreadnought has gone completely untouched. And even it is generally the last thing floating about. I've not seen
one basically solo a game.
Yeah. So this triggered the thinking, okay, which is the whole point of the stream. Let's get to the point. The whole point of tonight's discussion was this. What you have with that model is you have a circumstance where you go into the shop, you pay your money, and you pretty much win that game from there. You didn't need to do anything else. You bought the right model, you put it on the table, pad your list out with any old shit. It doesn't matter. As long as it's legal. And you got a fairly strong chance of winning. And for me, that is a massive problem.
Again, my iron jaws in AOS are fairly similar. They're literally point and shoot. You don't need to think about it, just bring stuff. You can pretty much bring everything and it'll be fine.
Okay. I mean, cheese me, I did consider this. The mission that we were playing was an objective-based game. There were 10 objectives on the board. And basically the win condition was to pick those objective tokens up onto your ships and just hold on to them till the end of the game. The problem is that I had hoovered up the tokens because my fleet was faster than Ricky's. I hoovered up the tokens way quicker. But after the Dreadnought had sunk my boats, I just put the tokens back on the table. It was like, yes, I got off to an early lead, but because I couldn't actually
game was
run
8
for
turns.
the hills,
Yeah.
I had to wait around to be sunk and then lost from that point. And yes,
Again,
could you? I mean, yes, you are right. With the right mission structure, you can get around these sort of issues.
but here's the counterpoint to his statement. Why should we have to?
Okay.
Should be able to just pick what we like and the cool and not fear us being that guy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We have theory crafted in 9th edition how broken we can make Vulcanistan with a squad of Stern Guard, everything carrying combi melters, dropping it in a drop pod. Guess what? I'm not that guy, so I never played that list.
Yeah. I mean...
But I could have.
Taking our first slide as like a discussion, a sort of hinge point to discuss around this. One of the things that came up when we were talking about this was this business about Ricky didn't plan. Ricky didn't buy a dwarf. Ricky didn't get David to print him a dwarf dreadnought because a dwarf dreadnought is a broken piece of crap. That's not why Ricky did it. Ricky walked into it completely oblivious. Oh shit, I've got the most broken thing in the game. In my humble opinion, I'm going to caveat that because if you have a different opinion, you're probably a better Armada player than me. And to be honest, as long as you're civil and give me a really constructive argument about
as to why
the ship's not overpowered, stick it in the comments. I'd love to read it because I hated my experience on Monday. Yeah, there you go. So Ricky just liked the look of the model, just thought it was cool. And he really loves the engine oars mechanic.
Yeah, and it makes a really nice centerpiece model for him as his pirate flagship.
Yeah. But the problem is, and this led to this discussion about, because in fairness, this issue has plagued 40k and other Games Workshop games for years, if not decades. 40k particularly has for a very long time been a game where you win all, and AOS, I'm going to say it, you win or lose before you roll a dice. Because if you can grok the most busted lists and plan your way to victory and buy the right models, exactly, Cheese Me, it is these people define this sort of like archetype. And I was really disappointed to come across it in this Mantic scenario. But I guess it happens. But I think it's worth saying, from my point of view, I don't mind I don't mind any game which gives you some room to push the envelope and build in an advantage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for example,
I think I get what you mean.
So for example, salamanders have a small boat called a Commodon, I think it is, which has got an indirect weapon on it. Indirect weapons do criticals twice as often as normal weapons, because they do a critical on a 9 or a 10 instead of just a 10. So okay, Jerry, I'll let you know. So one little buff, potentially, little combo, might be to put Red Hot Shot as an upgrade on your Commodore. Because what it does is every time you score a critical, you give a blaze marker as well. So you might say, oh, well, that's an advantageous little combo there, because that upgrade is twice as effective on that ship as it is on a regular ship, because you're critting twice as often, blah, blah, blah. I don't mind little things like that.
Tweaks like that.
Because they push your margin of success by inches. Okay?
Not miles.
Those are, for me, those are good game design, and they're an enjoyable and essential part of wargaming. Okay? But what you always want, maybe that's the same. Tough Years is highlighting a second edition Flames of War issue where there was a list that was spamming. Again, to be honest, this is a red flag. Whenever you see a list built for a game and
it's spammy AF,
there is literally like one model played over and over and over and over again, that to me is a red flag. You know, I immediately look twice at that and go, hang on a minute, why have we done that? Now, we might be doing it because it's cool and stupid, you know. Oh, I want to build a 2,000 point army that's just night goblins. Well, fine. Get night goblins with spears. Nobody gives a shit. That's the stupid list.
They're
Go
a bit
for
shit.
it. Or it could be, like Tuffy said there, because these are just the most points efficient things on the table. I mean, again, yeah.
Mantic have noticed their issue because, again, it's now one boat per 50 points.
Mate, do you know what we were discussing that? That rule is in the core book.
No, I know it's been. I realised that as well after when we looked.
So it's
but
not
again,
even a change. Mantic.
No, but what I'm saying is they know from the off is more my point here.
Yeah, but basically, let's just answer Jerry's point before we move on. My list,
I can tell
Jerry,
you what they have.
My list was the Salamander starter set, a Tyrant. I don't know how you pronounce it. A Jacarus, something like that, and a Commodon, with a few upgrades to take me up to 150.
Here we go. No, I can do it exactly because I've got the list, haven't I?
Yeah.
So if I take the... Oh, no, because you've...
Yeah.
Oh, that's your full one.
Yeah, no. So, and then Ricky had...
Got it. So you had a Tyrant.
Yeah.
Veteran Crew. Brutal, which is built in on it. Mastery of Flame, which is built in on it. Corsairs, grappling hooks, swivel guns, and Firebrand, which is the captain.
Firebrand brings all of the others with him. So that was a close assault boat.
You have a Jakoruk with Veteran Crew, Mastery of Flame, Master Gunner.
Yep.
And then you had a Commodon with Veteran Crew, Mastery of Flame, Sturdy Construction.
Yes. So that was what I had.
Ricky had a Dreadnought, Veteran Crew, Advanced Construction, Advanced Engines, Headstrong, Disharmony, and Pirate Flagship. Everything other than the Veteran Crew is stock on that. Again, because Ricky's playing Pirates, he gets access to Disharmony and Pirate Flagship. He has a Dust Chaser with Regular Crew, Curse of Undeath, Light Oars, and Disharmony. All of that's built onto it. And then a Soul Hunter with Regular Crew, Curse of Undeath, Light Oars, Soul Thirst, and Disharmony.
Yeah.
And Ricky's was 146 of 150.
Yeah.
So I think he stuck a little bit more on, didn't he? A couple bits, but not much.
I think he put an upgrade on grappling hooks or something on his... I can't remember what he put on. But... yeah. For me, you always have to have a situation that once the dice start getting rolled, that your decisions make a difference. I mean, let me highlight you. You might be thinking, yeah, but you're just being a salty prick and you actually didn't do anything, you didn't even try. Oh yeah, that's right. You put the swivels guns on.
Yeah.
You didn't, even try to stop the dreadnought. Well, blah blah blah. Well, I'll tell you what I did do. I got my Tyrant, which was my biggest sort of like cannon load, and I managed to race round the volcano in the center of the map, and I literally pulled up just shy of, I was about 4 inches off his stern, and I caught him in a perfect stern raking fire shot and did 6 damage to
Because of how resilient
112.
it is.
I did 6 damage on a 112 structure point ship for all of that effort. So I did try, but it was like throwing breadcrumbs at a brick wall. It was frustrating, to say the least.
For me, right, part of this is the armchair general versus a general at the tabletop.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
If you can decide and win your list before you even face enemy contact, okay, you're a fucking genius in the real world. But we're playing a war game, and the entire idea is for us to both have fun. Not everybody has the same budget. Not everybody has the same access to the same shit that you do. Again, it's part of the reason why I don't tailor my list. I build a list. It's a list and it's set. All of my lists have some variety of, for example, 40k example here, anti-infantry, anti-tank, anti-high toughness, high armor stuff, but that's about it. There's no customization for facing a Custodes force versus facing a what's it called?
Imperial Guard.
Imperial Guard or a
Orcs.
NID force.
Yeah, NID. Something that's a complete antithesis with cheap throwaway destructible troops.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Again, Infinity and Frostgrave are good examples of these games, of everything so tight. And if you, again, Infinity, you've got the tools to solve the puzzle, so get on with solving the puzzle. Don't dick around. Do you know what I mean? You can spam your ninja, but in certain scenarios, you're not going to use your ninja because you don't need your ninja to sneak round behind the tag and top it with its monofilament weapon. Do you know what I mean?
This is what Tuffy has said earlier about mission design. And I will say, one of the reasons I still say Infinity is probably one of the best war games on the market is because the ITS season that they release every year, the missions are designed exactly as David has just said. They're designed in such a way that if you spam something for a particular effect, but then end up with the wrong mission, congratulations, you're fucked. So they use... There are 2 things, because don't get me wrong, Infinity is a very competitive game in its own meta. It has a huge competitive scene. There are people that take Infinity incredibly seriously. There are people that build spam lists. Most things in Infinity are capped to 2 or 3 of a particular model style to a list. But even then, I've to listen to podcasts and watched videos of people who have created absolutely sharp edge, spiky spam lists.
Thorny lists.
But I tell you one thing that's true about Corvus Belli is that thinking about, because one of the things is you can get into this situation by design. You can be that spiky bastard who buys 3 swallow tags or whatever it is and just makes yourself a god-awful list. But you're not going to do it by accident with Infinity, because the way that the products are designed and marketed, you can't do it. You
There's
can't
mainly
just
singles.
accidentally buy a couple of boxes of something in Infinity and just end up with the most broken, horrendous shit. If you want to build broken, horrendous shit, you will have to
Commit the
pick your
crime.
purchases, you'll have redundant models. They've made it an effort for you. And some people might say, oh, well, that's fucking horrible. You should be able to buy what you want. I disagree. I think that the manufacturer, if they've put an obstacle in the way of you accidentally building some busted shit that makes their game a negative play experience, good on them. You know, oh, these models are fucking horrible. Well, only put one in that box then, and don't put those other models in it because they combo really well. Put them in that box. That to me is good thinking, and I'm sure it's deliberate.
Yes.
I'm sure it is.
It's too intentional to not be.
And this comes into my next slide. So the next slide is, it revolves around responsibility. Okay. So, hello Toros. Good to see you, my mate. Okay, Ricky gave me a negative play experience by accident. It was definitely not designed. Ricky's not that sort of guy. He's not even that experienced a wargamer, and I don't mean that in a detrimental way. Ricky loves what he does, and he has fun, and he's a great opponent. So
Very particular set of skills.
So whose responsibility is Monday? Is that Ricky's fault? Or is it the game designer's fault? Is it a bit of both?
Is it David's for supplying the stuff?
Is it David's for printing it? I mean, this is this is definitely something that changes with context, doesn't it, mate? Because, like,
Yeah, I mean,
some of the things you've talked about, there are definitely scenarios where you can point at the player and say, mate, you're a dick.
that's on you.
Yeah. Why did you do that? That is try hard squared. So this is something I think that definitely flexes with circumstance, don't you think?
Yes, I would like to again shout out Joseph McCullough here. Game designer, everything's fucking balanced, and it tends to be the games where everything's balanced, such as Joseph McCullough's Frostgrave, have more pleasant experiences, and it's a lot harder to be that guy. However, even Joseph realised you can be that guy playing Frostgrave, hence why there's now a limit on specialists.
That is a good shout. Yeah, that is a good shout. He missed that ranged was quite so effective as it was, and he did something with second edition, didn't he? Just stepped in and said,
yeah,
no,
just
right,
hard
we'll change
capped
that.
it.
No more Archer spam. Put a stop to that.
But again, this is the thing of we refer to the elephant in the room here, the big bad GW. Of come on, guys, what are you thinking? Again, Mantic here, calling out Mantic, Firefight, and the new stuff that's coming with the tanks.
Oh,
just the
mate,
tank
that
rules.
is a good shout.
They know that shit's going to be broken, so what have they done? Given it its own set of rules and scenario. They're not trying to make you play Firefight with it.
No, and again, I think, I mean, again, I don't know, I don't work for Mantic, but I suspect that Mantic realised that if they pushed this agenda, oh, well, we want Firefight games to be massive epic scale, lots of armour, blah, 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 I think, I know they realised, well, hang on a minute, mate, stop, because that's going to give a massive negative play experience if somebody brings 50 infantry and then the other guy just brings 5 tanks. So what they did was, with their, what's the new game mode called?
Not sure. Jerry, Gaming Gandalf, we summon you.
I wanted to say assassination, but it's not. Anyway, with
Annihilation?
Annihilation. With their new game mode, they changed list building. So now you have to pick all of your heavy armor. Yeah, it is a great game, Ricky. You have to pick all your heavy armor, and then your infantry are the sprinkling on top. So it's like good game design. You know, that again, it's about putting a barrier in front of you so that you don't walk four square into this negative play experience. So like, no, you hang on a minute. If you're playing in this game mode and you want to bring all of your fucking big toys, your opponent does the same.
You don't get to bring your big... Again, you don't have mechanised guard lists versus fucking nid swarms that are just termagants and harmagants. The shit.
Good luck balancing that.
No, but again, that's the point here. It's like, hang on a minute. They've realised that, so they fixed it from the off.
As I say,
this is what makes us say Mantic are not that set of guys. That's what made us so worried and concerned when we saw all this shit happen with Armada on Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah, and also it underscores our point, which is the problem is it is not one thing that is not fair to do is to make this the responsibility of the player to police themselves, at least without information, right? Because the problem is, as the game designer, you do have the information. You hopefully understand the game you've designed. You hopefully have play tested it. You hopefully understand. If we do this is pretty fucking hardcore. What's going to happen if somebody goes in, buys 2 boxes of this, and then that's all that they field? What's going to happen to the game balance? What's going to happen to the meta if that happens? Because the player, if it's a new product, presumably, or if they're a new player, they've got no fucking point of reference.
No.
And I mean, obviously, there is a possible scenario they may have been researching everything on the internet, and they've gone in with their shopping list to buy the most busted shit that they can, and they're net listing from the web. But again, I'll give the game designer a pass. At that point, you are being that guy. You know, if you're going to those lengths to make sure that you can win by replacing internet research and cold hard cash for actual skill and game tactics, fine. There's not much we can do. There's only so much we can do. But
we can't make friends for you.
Yeah, but game designers, I think they need to do the bare minimum. And I think there are definitely companies out there that have absolutely no regard for this, pointing the finger directly at you, Games Workshop. I mean, look at fucking Knights and super heavies in general. Let's not even generalise.
Lords of War.
Yeah. They're just a fucking car crash. They lead to massively swingy games, huge mismatches. You can just, if you do not, and in fact we'll go even further. If you do not do what that guy does and thoroughly research every purchase before you spend your money, you can easily buy a load of dog shit.
Yes.
And just end up with something that's not competitive, perfectly legal, but frankly fucking useless.
And not worth the money you spent on it.
They really don't care.
No, they really don't, and it's really annoying. There's something else I was going to say. I mean, again, I know we've just said about it's mainly on the game designer. But again, there is that element of, if you're a guy that knows rules and can look at a set of rules and go, oh, well, hang on a minute, that would be a bit spicy, and if I pair that with that, if you're saying that to yourself and you don't own the models, don't go out and do it. If you own the models, fine, have at it, have some fun. Do you know what I mean? But if you don't own the models, don't go out and fucking buy the models to do that shit.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying, David, is definitely good advice. I think there is a cohort of people who will never take that advice.
I mean, Darren, War Machine's that bad it's got fucking memes about playing with no miniatures.
Because here's another thing. Here's another thing, right? If, let's say, I suppose a reasonably good example, I'm sure we thought of a better one the other night, but a quite good example of this is like these new Space Marine rocket launcher guys that were fucking horrendous.
Oh, the Eradicators.
Or whatever they're called. I don't even know what their fucking stupid name is.
No, me neither.
Right? They are utterly fucking broken in current 40k because they have a ton of indirect fire. You can stratagem up to the tits so that they do like preposterous amounts of wounds, mortal wounds or whatever it is. Okay? And when the game does that and it allows you to concoct this scenario by just putting resources in a particular way, at least that's, for me, that's not as bad as the actual profile being broken or the unit being completely undercosted. Because if you're not that guy, then you're free to not do that. You can still play with your Eradicators, but do you know what? I'm not using that stratagem because it just makes them way too effective. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm going to choose not to use the indirect fire rule and only shoot at things I can see because it's a bit fucking broken. Yeah?
Yeah.
You've got
choices.
I would always give a game designer a pass, or a company a pass, if somebody breaks your game through really fucking working at it. Fine. That's not necessarily the way things are going to be. But do not design products where the raw profile is a fucking problem before you start.
Or again, synergy between Vulcan and a squad of Stern Guards. Yeah, okay, that's fine because it's one set of it. Do you know what I mean? It's thematic. It fits the theme of the army. They're not terrible in that regard.
I mean, we can cover the synergy thing and Tuffy Ear's comment earlier about scenarios. I can cover that with an example. So in the game I played against Trevor about 2 weeks ago in Malifaux, my Obsidian Oni that were my new model for my warband, because I can summon a huge range of models, I had a feeling that those Oni would be really good against Trevor's warband because I'd played it before and I knew that I ignored his terrifying rule. I knew that they were quite good at sticking damage out and putting burning damage on, which is quite difficult for him to deal with. It turns out I was right because I basically went through his warband like a mincer and killed a lot of his models very quickly. But I still lost the game because my aggression wasn't worth as much in Malifaux as it is in 40k.
Yes.
And Trevor was still able to win on points because he played the scenario.
I know we've touched on this before, but you just raised a very good point there.
Yeah.
About the I Go You Go versus Alpha Strike.
Yeah.
Of if it's alternating activations, Armada being a prime example or other ones, it's not as feel bads versus somebody having their entire turn deleting a load of your shit because they've designed their army to delete you.
Yeah, designing an Alpha Strike list. To be fair though, that's a game designer's choice. I be honest. I applaud any game designer who designs an I go you go game when alternating activations or random activations is there, because you're creating a game that's automatically harder to balance and design around, because that Alpha Strike mechanic is just inherently unstable and volatile, and you just good for you if you're. I mean, and there are games where I think it works very well. I mean, I don't think anybody. Jerry, you play a lot of Kings of War. I don't want to pester you. If you're there, have you found Kings of War to be horrible to play against certain opponents who bring busted, broken shit? Or do you generally find the game interactive, engaging, and fun? Because I'm betting it's the latter. Because that's based on my experience of Kings of War. Even though it is an I go, you go, to feed the tournament thing, where you don't have your opponent interfering in your time and their time. You know, everybody's time is zoned quite cleanly. And they make it work quite well. I have not had any awful games of Kings of War. I might have been lucky with my opponents, but I've not had any yet.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'll tell you what, I am loving these Empires buildings.
Yeah, I was just interested to see if because I think you play more Kings than I do, Jerry. I think you're definitely you play a lot more than I do, so I just wondered what you thought. But that mirrors my experience, mate. It absolutely mirrors my experience. Sorry, David, interrupting you. You carry on.
No, it's all right. I was just saying, I absolutely love these Empires buildings.
Oh, you're going
together really nice. Yes, I will in a minute. I've already got 2 built.
David and I, when we sort of decided to do this discussion, we knew that it was going to be a bit impromptu and rambly, and I do apologise if it's been a bit waffly. But this last slide, we've covered all this. We've discussed this business of, being that guy and designing your list to be a piece of shit that makes your opponent cry into their chips, or the scenario where I bought it because it looked cool. I didn't know it was fucking broke. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In answer to the question, which feels worse? I guess it depends on you. For me, the accident one is more of a feels bad, because it makes me wary of a game. If I can do something like this, just walk into it blind, I think, oh, hang on a minute, I need to look at this game again.
If you can build broken shit just by going, oh, it was a cool mini, I wanted it. The people out there that chase the meta
I lose
and want
my respect.
to be uber competitive.
Yeah. For me, it's a respect thing. If I can do that...
Hobgoblin's a good example, actually.
Yes, mate, good shout.
We said about this. Hobgoblin's a game that me and Paul weren't overly fans of.
And I think
for a variety
it's
of reasons, and we've covered it before. It's the rock, paper, scissors of, once you've solved the Rubik's Cube of bring this, don't bring that, bring this, don't bring that, it's like, okay, the game's solved now. What we doing now? What we playing? Because we know what we're bringing every single time, and nothing's going to change in that regard. So let's not fuck around here and carry on. Do you know what I mean? It's a tough one because It's not as egregious because obviously it's miniatures agnostic.
Plus, in fairness to Hobgoblin, it's like, oh, do you know what? I've really found that tough upgrade is a bit undercosted. It's just
Yeah,
like whatever I put tough on is just always good.
yeah.
I
It becomes
suppose
a
you could
freight
just
train.
say, shall we have a house rule? No more. You can never take more than tough 1, and you can never put it on more than 2 units. I mean, yes, you could do that, but my issue is, why didn't we have that conversation? Simply because the rest of the core of Hobgoblin just wasn't good enough to make it worth the work. I think that's fair, don't you?
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
mean,
think it.
not that Hobgoblin's bad, but if I'm to be like, it's like I said to
Really
David.
turned on by a game.
Yeah, it's like we said. I think we discussed this on live stream. Hobgoblin has a market. Hobgoblin's market is, I really, really love 3D printed minis, but none of these people do a rule set. So I would just want to be able to print my models and build my armies and play. That's this game. This game is your game because it is literally as customizable framework as you're ever likely to see, and it is so easy to do it. But if you're not
And
that
learn.
person and you're buying models with an established gaming product attached, blah blah blah, which is me, it doesn't really offer me anything. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, I know totally what you mean, mate. And
I was just sort of throwing that in there in defence a little bit of Hobgoblin, because I think we didn't find it. We wouldn't say it was a bad game, would we, mate? It was just
it wasn't
worth our time.
egregious, was it? No, it was just like, again, it's the right. We've solved that Cuban puzzle now,
Yeah,
so we know what we're bringing every time now. So let's go print my army.
yeah.
Because rock beats paper and paper beats scissors. It's just, again, it was just a bit weird and wacky. Versus, again, this is where I was just about to go with this.
Go on.
The agnostic of Frostgrave.
Yeah,
Because it is just pick cool shit. Yes, you can pick knights and whatever and everything else, but they're all, as we've discussed multiple times, a merch of a merchness.
yeah. You get to pick the same shit your opponent picks. So, you know.
And a thug will still take down a fucking knight, etc.
Yeah, if you roll bad, but you know, that's life.
Again, egregious games. Underworlds.
Yeah,
Deck building of, yes, your miniatures are the same and everybody can bring the same stuff, but the second you tweak your deck, suddenly it's like, hang on a minute, what?
also Underworlds.
CCGs?
Yeah, Underworlds is a good example of a game where you can just walk into a trap in the shop.
Yeah.
There are simply, you know, oh, look at this. I found this first wave Underworld warband. It was discounted at my local GW third-party stockist. Yeah, well, that's all right, because I've got the newest of the newness, and it's going to fucking rip you a new one, because your warband is massively underpowered. So, like,
Yeah.
oh, that doesn't feel great. Ouch.
Again, see,
Orinoco, don't even joke, mate. Don't even joke.
I'm not on the weathering powder anymore anyway. I'm on the PVA.
Yeah. So
yeah, we've waffled and rambled. Let's get your guys' opinion. Shout off in the comments or
everybody's been chipping
post. Yeah, but as in, if you're watching this video after, you're
in. Oh, yeah,
belly.
that's true. If you're watching us later on YouTube, join the conversation in the comments below. How do you feel about this premise that we've put forward of winning a game, essentially winning a game in any way other than direct table interaction. Whether that be list building, what models you buy, whether what's your take on it? What's your thoughts?
2 cents on the matter.
Join the conversation. Let's see you in the comments.
Right, let's go down to David Cam. When I get it set back up. Oh, yay. David Cam is ready.
Boom, son. Ooh, right, okay. Here. Brushes down, everybody. Let's pay attention. So these, what was the name of the company again?
Empires at War.
Empires at War, 15 mil.
Normandy ruins. So I've got 5 ruined buildings and some ruined farmhouse. All of it's pre-coloured.
Okay.
Card interior to get the nice white finish. Nice details on the etching. Even comes with removable floors.
Do you know what? I do like that internal floor. The level of damage on it is just right visually.
Yes. So that's quite cool. There is some shuttering.
Nice.
There is some shuttering to go on. There's a door to go on as well. So this is one of the townhouses.
So hang on a minute before you go away. Come back.
No.
Come back. I have a question. So the windows, that's on the inner layer?
Yes.
Okay. And you've got bomb damage and blown out window struts. That's cool, man. I like those. Oh, so Jerry's got a good question. Does an infantry base fit?
Oh, we'll get there in a second.
Oh, he's
ruined farmhouse.
See, Jerry, calm down. You've been told. Nice. Yeah, Jerry makes a good point. You might not want to stick those floors in.
Look, I'm a little... Don't want that to happen.
It won't happen. But you could put an infantry base in and it'd be really cool. So...
What, you mean like this infantry base?
Ooh, and it doesn't even collapse.
Or this infantry base? Yes, okay, that's a 3-man one, but the sizes aren't too dissimilar. It literally just fits, I believe. Having a look at that.
Yeah, and what Jerry's saying is you can put it on both floors. So you can get you both... Because presumably there's enough clearance to get that base under the floor and we get the floor in on top.
Yeah, shall we find out?
It looks like there is enough clearance.
Put him in. Yeah, there is. Just.
It's snug, but it's there, isn't it? That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Mate, you want to keep them free. Don't glue them in. I mean, do you, but I wouldn't glue them in, I don't think. At least initially. So, what else have you got? So you've got those two together.
Yeah, I've got a third one going together at the moment. So this one's got some windowsill details.
Okay.
And then
is that the outer skin? So you've got to put the inner skin.
Yeah, that's the outer skins. Yeah. Because on the instructions are quite good. So the instructions that come in the box with it say to fit the walls together, add your outer detail, fit it to the base. I've ignored fitting the outer detail. We'll do that in a minute. Then you fit the inner walls, fit the floor supports for it, and then fit the partition wall, fit the doors, fit the together, and we're done.
Bit of drowning pool there from Tim.
So yeah, they're going together nicely. Bear in mind, I didn't start these till we started our main topic.
Yeah,
to get two together, and the fact that there is actually quite a lot of detail.
And just rerun it for everybody. So you bought these guys are on eBay, or have they got their own shop?
They've got their own shop.
Yep.
If we come away from my camera, I'll tell you how much I spent there.
Yep. Do it. There we go. We're back in the main shop.
Bollocks, that's my fucking computer keyboard on the floor.
There's technical difficulties, guys. Check your Yellow Belly Tabletop bingo card. Pardon me. Okay, thanks, Tuffy. I'll have a quick look.
PayPal Empires at War. I paid £52.50 for 7 buildings. So not the cheapest, but pre-coloured. It was 20 odd quid for the farm, I want to say, and then the rest was obviously on the 5 for the town.
I think 50 quid for 7 pre-coloured buildings is pretty bloody good, mate. I don't know if I'm an idiot with more money than sense, but that doesn't seem expensive.
It's not terrible, just the size of them. I'm a little... Don't get me wrong, the size is obviously perfect for 15mm flames. And they do a 28mm version that I'm thinking of getting some for bolt action.
Nice.
I feel that Ricky's roasting me.
Do you think?
Little does Ricky know I've got 4 tank crew to paint, powders to put on those tanks, and it's done. Then it's just my infantry bases, and we're good to go. How's your Germans coming along?
Just for clarification, Darren, you're saying that you think that for pre-coloured, that's a fair price? Oh my.
What do foreground charge these days? Well, about that.
Jerry.
Gaming Gandalf's out the loop.
No, he's not. Honestly, he's not.
I know he's digging the hole.
He's trolling, definitely trolling, but he's not out of the loop at all. Yeah, I think so as well, Darren. I mean, 7 terrain pieces for 50 quid is what? About 12 each? 10? No, not even that. 7
sevens of 49.
So it's about 7 quid a building. That's fucking nothing, man. Fucking hell. You wouldn't get bare uncoloured MDF anything from Sarissa for 7 quid. What the fucking hell would you get from Sarissa for 7 quid? I've said that. You could probably find something from Sarissa for 7 quid, but
Oh, fuck off, Ricky, you cunt.
Oh dear. Cleaning and tidying.
I don't do cleaning and tidying.
Foreground were a great company. Sadly, they are no more, but sort of are, because I noticed some of their stuff's available again. Just under a different, yeah. I'd noticed that, Jerry. It's all under a different company now.
What is the company name so I can go buy some?
Jerry will beat me to it. Oh, what the hell are they called now? Time Again. TYME again.
Cheers, Sam. Thank you for jumping to my defence.
Yeah. Did you get that, mate? Oh, Jerry got me.
Yeah, Time Again.
I knew it. I knew it. He'd beat me to it. Yeah, Time Again. Right, guys. It's 2 minutes to go. I have painted very little of my sails, but that will surprise nobody because I just fucking talk all the time and don't do actually any work. David's the productive one. Thank you very much.
What happened in this relationship for that to happen? Because years ago, it was always the other way round, and I was too busy talking, and you were too busy doing shit.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'll be honest, Jerry. I think you're right. The buildings that David's got there, they've only got 2 layers. I mean, the foreground stuff was insane. You had like a main.
I mean, some of these have got 3.
Have they?
Don't knock them. Yes.
They're probably as good then. But I mean, I bought a lot of foreground in the day of the Marienburg, was it? Range? And I love them. They are great, but fucking hell, they were expensive. They're great feature pieces, but I wouldn't say that they were the cheapest thing in the world.
Oh, fucking hell. Ricky and Sam are getting on like a house on fire, apparently. Jesus.
Oh, dear. Right, anyway, it's coming up to time. So, thank you very much if you're joining us later on YouTube. And thank you very much for everybody who was in the chat. This side, Paul, this side. Everybody who's in the chat tonight. As usual, you guys
Did you
are
just
awesome.
point at the wrong side of the screen?
Yes, I always go this way. And
Technical
it's this
difficulties bingo card ticked again.
Da, 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 da. Right, anyway. Yeah, it's kicking out time now. So thank you very much.
Last orders.
Everybody who was in the chat, as usual, you guys made the show. We're just the fucking morons who come here so that you can and to keep everybody entertained. We just try and stay out of the way. If you can only find time to do one thing, please click the like button. Or the way, Paul. Just that little bit of interaction helps to push us a little bit on the YouTube algorithm. Obviously, if you can do any of the other things that are listed in this central spine, share, comment, subscribe. If you feel that you want to and can do, we really, really appreciate it. Because it helps to spread the message.
Every little helps.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. YouTube's not going to recommend us to anyone. So if you can share a video link or a channel with a friend or somebody you think you'll really like these blokes are idiots, do it. We'd be really, really grateful. So I think that about wraps it up. I'm sitting here getting ready to have a pipe, have a chill, get myself a cold Pepsi and wind down. We hope you have a great week of gaming.
Other brands of beverages are available.
No, not in my house, they're not. God damn it. Yeah, so go on. Start talking.
Amateur.
Fuck you, man. Right. We're going to go. No, not fucking brown. Fucking brown lemonade. My ass.